Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking with Bama-Q. I'm Lisa Blackwell, and today we're joined by a special guest, Rylee Wright, the Steak Princess. And Rylee, I mean, you're normally known as the Steak Princess, but you are fast becoming the queen of ancillaries because you've been placing in the top 5, girl.
Yes.
And today you're cooking something special for us. What are you making?
So we're making a Triple Berry Cobbler, and we're just using some blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and then we're showing some other little tricks that we've done for a few years now that just makes our cobbler really good.
Well, you've been doing really well, so I think any tricks that people can learn from you is awesome. Go ahead and show us what we're putting together today and how you're doing it.
Okay, so first you want to start out with mixing your berries, and you just want about 4 to 5 cups of berries. So you'll just want to pour those into a bowl.
4 to 5 cups of berries total. Okay. Now, what's special about these? Because you had those and you have these.
They're just all berries. They're all the same. They just all wouldn't fit into one container.
Oh, okay, got it. I thought maybe that was the secret special seasoned berry or something you got there. Okay.
Then you'll want to add about a cup of sugar to them.
Okay.
And then we add about a tablespoon of our homemade vanilla. We don't measure it out. You just want to pour just a little bit in there.
Just pour. And it's homemade, so how do you do that?
So you just need some vanilla beans and vodka or whatever type of liquor you want to use. Vodka is what main vanilla is made out of, and you just want to be sure you cover up all of the vanilla beans, and then you want it to sit for probably about a year, so that way it gets that really good taste to it.
Yeah.
But it turns out so good that we use it so much. Mom makes it yearly.
That's something you want to plan for, definitely. You don't need vanilla at the last minute. No, I got to make some. Okay.
Definitely. So you'll just want to mix up your berries until the sugar has covered all of them.
Looking good.
And you'll just want to let those sit for about 15-20 minutes so that way the sugar can soak into the berries and get you that good puree of juices.
Flavor and juicy and sweet. Well,
Yes.
it's well on its way here. You think you got enough vanilla?
I think so.
Okay.
If not, we can add a little bit more.
You can always add more. So you're 14
Yes.
and you've been cooking against the adults. What is that like?
It's a lot of fun. It's not like too much pressure or anything because everyone makes it fun. They make it exciting. They just kind of like welcome just anyone into it. It is a little stressful sometimes because sometimes there's no other teenagers there. So it's kind of like you're just all around adults and you have like no other kids there. So it's really awkward at times, but usually it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. And I can sense your joy and excitement about that. Plus, you tend to cook a couple different ancillaries, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So usually they do like two ancillaries the most at a competition, and I'm trying to stay in top 10 for ancillary points. So I want to do multiple ones so that way I can see if I can get multiple chances to walk and get those points. So usually I do like this weekend they have pork loin, so I'm doing I think 2 pork loin, and then they have a drink and I'm doing 2 drinks. So that way I can stay caught up in those points.
What kind of drink is that?
It's anything with Jack Daniels, so I can't try it, but I'm just putting it together so that way they can turn it in.
Well, that's cool. At least you can put it together, and yeah,
Yes.
anything with Jack Daniels should be delicious. So your ancillaries can run the gamut from, for anyone who might not know, from a dessert to a side dish, right?
Yes, they can. They can go from desserts to drinks to appetizers to burgers to really anything you can imagine. They've probably done it.
And where do you get your inspiration for your different recipes? Do you come up with them yourself? Do you kind of go out there and look and see what's out there?
Some of them we have came up with ourselves, but others we just like either go to some restaurants and we're like, oh, that sounds good, let's tweak it and add our own little things, and we use that. Or even just Googling like certain appetizers or desserts, and then we just change the recipes up to make it our own.
And does that take a while to kind of test that and play with it? How long would you say it takes you to come up with something that you own?
Sometimes for like cooking things, it's like sometimes it's our first time trying it at a competition, sometimes it's our second or third, sometimes it's like our 10th. You never know. It all depends on what we're doing that weekend. So we always try something new, usually just about every weekend.
But you're usually testing it out and before you go, right? Or do you just throw it together?
Usually just throw it together. A lot of times I haven't been practicing recently just because I haven't had time with school and everything. So we just kind of were like, oh, this sounds good. Let's hope it turns out good this weekend.
So how do you do that when you're on the steak trail? Because, you know, that's a weekend kind of thing. You've got that, and you've got your school, and you're cooking. How do you manage all that?
I mean, I just try and make time. I know my grades come first, so if I don't have good grades, then I can't compete. So I always have to be sure school comes first before anything, and I just keep up with all of that and keep track of that, and then I go back to cooking.
So you prioritize it. And I know you're busy, but do you have any other hobbies that you like to do?
I usually play soccer, and then that's really all.
So we're gonna wait a few more minutes for this to totally marinate, so to speak, and we'll be right back.
Okay, so we're still waiting a few more minutes on the berries, so we're gonna go ahead and make the batter. And what you want 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll just pour that into a bowl.
And looks like you got some, go ahead.
You have a teaspoon of salt that you'll wanna add to it, a tablespoon of baking powder, and then you'll just want to mix that up really well, so that way it's all combined.
Wire whip always helps.
Yes.
Helps things mix up really well. Yeah.
And then you'll add 2 cups of whole milk. And you just want to get that all nice and combined and get all of the clumps out of it and just stir
you
it
want
up.
to try to get the lumps out so it's nice and smooth.
Yes, so that way like all the clumps of flour and everything, you just want to be sure it's all broken up, and so that way when it's cooking, it's not all the flour spreading out.
Do you like making cobbler?
I do. I'm not the biggest fan of it sometimes because I'm not the biggest fan of hot berries. So I usually eat the batter before I eat the berries out of it.
I gotcha. Sometimes the batter's the best part.
Yes.
What's your favorite dessert to make, would you say?
Ooh, I probably have to say a homemade ice cream.
Oh yeah?
Because we do a really good vanilla homemade ice cream, and it turns out great with cobbler. So
oh yeah.
If we do a cobbler, we usually make homemade ice cream as well.
Cobbler a la mode, anytime. That's good. Yeah, definitely.
So we have it all mixed up. So once you get it all mixed up, you want to melt a cup of butter, and you don't want to pour all of it in there, but you'll start out with probably about half of it, and you'll mix it up. And you don't want to you just don't want it too greasy or anything with all the butter in it. So it's all just based on the looks of it.
Okay. And that's just regular, is it salted or unsalted?
We have a stick of salted and a stick of unsalted.
Okay.
So you can either do 2 unsalted, 2 salted, whatever your preference is. It's all whichever you'd like.
It can make a difference with the flavor. So I know sometimes I like to cook with unsalted butter and adjust the salt, but it depends what you're making. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So 1 unsalted, 1 salted, and then you just kind of check and see how it's looking.
We're gonna add just a little bit more, and we should be good with it. So you'll just kind of want it looking like that. You don't have to mix all of the butter up in it because it'll all soak down into the pan and help it not stick.
Okay, so you don't need to mix that completely. Okay.
So we went ahead and sprayed our pan so that way the batter or anything wouldn't stick. And it looks like our berries have gotten well soaked into the sugar and everything. So we should be good to go ahead and put it together.
Okay.
So what you'll do first is you'll pour the batter in there.
Just kind of pour it in there.
You just want
it all out.
to be sure it covers all of the pan and everything.
Okay.
So once you have the batter in there, you'll just want to scoop the berries out, and you'll just kind of place them into the cobbler.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have to put it all over like to the side and everything. You just need to put it like towards the middle so that way you can still have that crust on there.
Yeah. And for those who want less berries, they can sneak some of that off the side then.
Yes, they can.
That good stuff. Okay.
And you don't have, like there's usually a lot of juice into the berries, so you don't have to add all of the juice if you don't want to. But if you do, that's perfectly fine. all up to you.
Okay. Here we go. That looks really good. Those berries look absolutely delicious.
So once you have them all in there, you can go ahead and put it onto the grill oven, whatever you're cooking it on. And we put ours, it's at about 350 right now, but you can cook it anywhere between 350 and 375.
Okay.
So
whatever your grill you're comfortable with.
yes.
Okay, and for about how long?
About 45 to 50 minutes, but it could take a little less or a little longer. You just want it to look golden brown and have that pretty crust.
Okay.
All right, so it's been about 50 minutes, so we're ready to go ahead and pull it off.
All right. Oh, look at that. Wow, that is
Got that nice color to it.
beautiful. Yes.
Thank
Looks so good.
So I was just gonna put some in these little dishes, just seems simple to put it in.
Okay.
And you'll just kind of scoop out from, I get like really wherever you want to. I prefer more crust in mine, so that's what I usually pull out. And then you got some fruit in there. So there's one.
That looks really pretty.
And then just go ahead and scoop out another.
Is this mine?
Mhm.
It feels really hot. I was telling Rylee that I got to be careful because sometimes you're trying these desserts and they're super hot and you fry all your taste buds.
Oh yeah.
So, well, it looks absolutely beautiful. And this
Thank
is what
you.
you want to shoot for, is kind of that golden brown color.
Yes, because you don't want it too dark or else it'll just burn and then it just won't have a good taste to it.
Right. Okay, well, I don't know. Do you think we can dig in?
I think so. I just
pretty
need to
hot.
be careful.
Yes, we need to be really, really careful. Just a little off the top there. Okay, maybe just kind of blow on it. I'm letting her go first.
It's good. It's
How's
not
it?
too hot.
Oh, if you love berries, this is totally awesome, Rylee.
It's got a great fruity taste.
Very fruity, delicious. You get that sweet, but not too sweet.
It's not overpowering sweet.
Going in for a second bite. That is absolutely delicious. I would
Thank
make that
you.
for sure.
Thank you.
Great job. Well, we want to thank you for watching today. We want to thank Rylee for the awesome job she did. And we want to thank all our sponsors. And we'll see you next time on Cooking with Bama-Q.